Good evening, everybody. You're on so good to be with you guys. It's Webinar Wednesday. It's me again. We had a little bit of a schedule change because we have a very, very important webinar that we're going to do tonight. A lot of incredibly important information. It's really time sensitive that we get this out to you guys. So we had thought about doing a different webinar format tonight, but information coming back to us from Hawaii that was just announced. We felt it very important to replace our scheduled webinar with what I'm about to present to you tonight. I am very excited to give this information to you. For people who are in Hawaii, this is a review for you because you've already seen this. However, I'm guessing that you probably need the review because from what I understand, it went by pretty quick when we were talking about it in Hawaii. So I'm glad everybody's on. I'm nervous that we don't have enough people on that are definitely going to need to hear this information. So while I'm kind of going through some of the announcements part of this webinar, I need you guys to text everybody, get them on. We need everybody on tonight, not fooling around a whole lot tonight. So reach out to people, get them on. You can kind of scroll through the who's on the webinar list. I don't know if you guys can see that or if only I can see that. But if you don't see people from your team on there, text them, tell them to get on because they need to hear this just as bad as you need to hear it. But I'm grateful for everybody that's on, that they're here, that they're on time. Welcome to Webinar Wednesday. I'm Dan Calley, in case you didn't know who I am. If this is your first time on the webinar, maybe I do need to introduce myself to you. I feel like most of you probably know who I am, so I'm not going to bore you with an introduction of myself. I do want to go through maybe just a couple of quick announcements. I don't have a slide for this necessarily, but I want to remind you of some of the announcements that we had from last week. Actually, it's just one announcement tonight, and that is NAB's registration, North America Business Summit registration. We need people to hurry up and get registered for it. If you want to go, time's of the essence. You got to get your registration taken care of. We do have deadlines. We have there's NAB's benefits that you may have qualified for. Those NAB's benefits come off the table pretty quickly. So if you've qualified for them, make sure that you get registered because we have to reserve your hotel room. And if you wait to the last minute, things fill up. Sometimes our block of rooms gets exhausted and we have to cut you off from the benefit that you worked so hard to qualify for. So we don't want that to happen. Make sure that you're registered for it. It's February 9th to the 11th. It's in Las Vegas. It's at the area, or I don't even know what it's called, area, something like that, hotel. So it's at a hotel, pretty nice. It's Vegas. It's February. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to have a conference call, hopefully, for a lot of the leadership to just maybe light the fire underneath you to get you registered, to get your teams registered. We want everybody registering as soon as possible. Those blocks of rooms, they do fill up, and sometimes, I know this happened last year, people waited too late and we didn't have rooms to even extend to them. So we don't want that to be you. Get registered, don't procrastinate, get signed up for the Business Summit as soon as humanly possible. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time tonight going over other fluffy stuff because it pays to be on the webinar. Tonight's webinar conversation is about getting paid. We have a fun, exciting new announcement to talk to you guys about. It ties in with a lot of the things that we've talked about over the last 12 to 18 months. Financial freedom, how to grow and expand your financial freedom. Your financial freedom income that we've talked about for so long. I want you to know that there was a cool announcement last week that's going to accelerate that for you. In fact, we call it the, drum roll, I love this name, the Financial Freedom Income Accelerator, or FFIA. That's trademarked by Dan Calley. So FFIA, if I ever use that acronym and you go cross-eyed and you want to punch me in the face, just know it stands for Financial Freedom Income Accelerator. This is out of the mad scientist lab of Kelly Q. Olson, and I love it. I'm so excited to be able to share this information with you because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And we talk about getting the year kicked off right, getting momentum started up in January that's going to carry us through the good portion of 2018. It's going to drive business. It's going to drive enrollments. It's going to drive checks. And this is going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, I'm kind of stalling maybe just a little bit for more people to get on before I get into the meat and potatoes of the presentation. But guess what? If you're not on, you're not on. Although if you're listening to the recording of this, then just ignore that. Okay, in 2018, you will have the opportunity to accelerate your Fast Start bonus income and your Unilevel income. Fast Start in Unilevel, that comprises the 45% portion of our compensation plan. If that doesn't make any sense to you, by the way, this is not a 101 conversation that we're having tonight. This is not a comp plan 101 conversation. This is an elevated conversation. So I'm not going to take the time to explain the differences between those two, although I may come back and have to highlight maybe one key difference. But your Fast Start income and your Unilevel income, we want to accelerate that. We want to throw gasoline onto a fire that hopefully is burning already bright, coming off of the end of 2017, where we had the Try It campaign, which was extremely and wildly successful. We want to throw gasoline on top of that fire and just come out the gates with our hair on fire in 2018. Now, the concept is simple, and I don't say that tongue-in-cheek. Everything that we do is simplicity on the far side of complexity, but the concept of it is simple. Basically, we're inviting people to grow your business. Successful qualification will require IPCs to increase both measurements concurrently, those measurements being enrollments and Unilevel income. You want to accumulate months where your Premier Member Bank account, you haven't heard that term before, but I'm going to explain that, and your Unilevel income increase with the same month. Premier Member is our new terminology for auto ship. We're moving away from calling it case auto ship and calling it Premier Member status. Okay, that just simply means 120 auto ship, but we don't call it auto ship anymore. We don't say that word anymore. We say Premier Member. So your Premier Member bank account. Now, if you think about a bank account, the analogy of a bank account actually is pretty simple. You have and I don't even know if we do this anymore. Everything's all on high-tech apps on your phone, and you can check your income from your phone, check your balance. Used to be back in the day, back when I was a kid, how many of you guys have said that before? Back when I was a kid, I used to have to balance my checkbook with the little book that the bank gave you when you signed up your checking account, and you had to write it, and you had to pen in every transaction that you did. Then you had to come back and see, well, did I spend more money than I have? Am I positive? Am I negative? I don't want to overdraw my account. It used to be this arduous process. Now it's a lot easier. You just open up an app and it tells you where you're at. But the idea of balancing your checkbook is a banking concept, is a banking terminology. So we call it Premier Member Bank Account. Now, so the idea is to grow your Premier Member Bank Account and your Unilevel check at the same time. The purpose of this accelerator program is to reward the IPC for accumulating months where both of those two things, your Premier members are increasing and your Unilevel income increase in the same exact month. Morinda will match and qualify IPC's Fast Start and Unilevel income up to $50,000. Yes, I said $50,000. Okay, I'm going to do the Dr. Evil finger on my mouth. But hopefully that grabs your attention. Is that not exciting? Up to a $50,000 match starting off the gates in 2018. Now, I know a lot of people, when you see numbers like that, don't let okay, well, that's impossible. I'm never going to be able to get that. Don't get that negative voice in your head. Hey, let's go after this. We're going to match up a whole bunch of cash in 2018. Now, I need to point out, because I'm a huge commission nerd, that $50,000 does not come out of your pockets, meaning the 53% commission that we pay back out to you, this $50,000 match does not come from that. So this comes out of the generous pockets of the founders of this company, who will take from the 47% and match it whatever your growth is during this time period. So that $50,000 is awesome. Other companies, when they talk about matching bonuses and these types of things, they're matching stuff. It all comes out of your pockets. Whatever's getting matched, it really doesn't cost the company to do that. It's just part of the plan. They budget for that in their commission plan percentage. No, we're already paying out 53%. Dang it, this $50,000 or whatever you end up matching comes out of the owner's pockets, the generous pockets of Carrie AC and Kelly Olson and Stephen Story. So I think that's extremely exciting and very, very generous. The qualification period, how long do you have to qualify? This program actually is retroacting back to January 1, so we're 17 days into this program already. That's why it's so important that we get this information out. It's hot off the press. People just got back from Hawaii last week. It was just barely announced. We need to get the word out on this. We've got 65 people on the webinar tonight. We need more. We need like 1,065 people to hear this information. So it's very important that we start to get this information out and share it with everybody. But yeah, it starts January 1. It ends July 31st of this year. So it's a 7-month program. Now, how do you accumulate what we're calling Accelerator Months? To qualify as an Accelerator Month, you need to have a net gain of 3 or more personally sponsored Premier members at the end of the month, and increase your Unilevel income by $25 over your December Unilevel commission a month. Now, December is going to start off as our baseline. For people who are going to qualify for the month of January, December is your starting point. However many Premier members that you had in December will be your baseline. We're asking you to grow that number, whatever that number ended up being, by 3. And at the same time, we're asking you to grow your check. We're asking you to make more money, which doesn't seem like that's not a penalty. That's not a stressor. That's a, hey, congratulations, we want your check to go up. Your check goes up, you add 3 people, and that qualifies you for an Accelerator Month. Now, as the program moves from January to February, and I have an example that's going to illustrate this, you have to increase each month. So remember, it's a 7-month program. Each month we want you to increase that number of Premier members by 3 over your previous high month going back to December. Okay, so whatever your previous high month is, you need to beat that number by 3. Whatever your previous high Unilevel amount was, you need to beat that number going back to December by $25. Okay, clear as mud. Have I lost everybody and you've gone cross-eyed and you're staring at your screen and you're probably throwing stuff at it now and you're like, dude, this guy doesn't even speak English. If you're feeling like that, it's okay. I'm trying to go through this as slow as we can. I'll try and show some really clear examples here in just a couple seconds. Very confident that they're going to be clear examples. So it's simple. Every month that you have a net gain in your Premier member bank account balance of 3 or more, and your Unilevel commissions above December 2017 Unilevel by $25 or more, that month qualifies for you. That wasn't even a simple paragraph for me to even read. However, the concept is add 3 people, get that in the screen, and increase your check by $25. That qualifies you for 1 month. Now, so let me just go through a quick example. Before I get to the matching part of it and the rewards part of it and the cash part of it, let me just get to a couple of examples. And if you guys have any questions, I'm going to try and go through this information and then stick around maybe for some Q&A at the end. So if you got questions, just hold on to those, put them in the parking lot of questions, and we'll ask you to come back and circle back to those questions at the end. So, bank account analysis. So this is our checkbook. This is our little folding checkbook thing that we're trying to balance every month. This is that concept. So Premier member accounts. In other words, your case auto ship account. We don't call it that anymore. We call it Premier members. If you have 7 people in January as your beginning balance, meaning December, your baseline was 7. You ended the month of December with 7. Beginning in January, you're starting off with a beginning balance of 7 people. Now, during the month of January, you're going out, you're doing your discovery parties, you're using your operating system, you're scanning people, you're doing everything that we've talked about for months and months and months. You're holding business briefings, you're doing webinars, you're doing conference calls, all those different things. You add 4 new people as Premier members. That bumps you up to 11. Well, let's say that one of them maybe drops off during the month, because sometimes we see people that have stupid attacks and they cancel their premier member status and they can't maintain for the month. So you added 4, you lost 1. You had a net gain of 3, which your month end balance per our slide is 10. That is a net gain of 3 personally sponsored premier members. That means you qualified for that portion of the promotion. Okay? So you had a net gain of 3 in the month of January. Now, let's advance to February. Let's say in February, now your beginning balance in February is not 7, it's now 10. So we're asking you to grow yet again by 3 premier members in your business. Now, let's say in the month of February, you've got 3 new people. February is a shorter month. It's 28 days. You got 3 people instead of 4. And you had the same attrition rate, so 1 person dropped off. That means you grew by you had a net gain of only 2 people in the month of February. I know that 12 is more than 7, but we're asking you to grow by 3 in the month of February. So in the month of February, you did not meet the qualification for the promotion. And sorry, people walking by that I haven't seen in a little while, and had to throw them a quick wave. Advance to the month of March. The month of March, you start off with February is your new high. So you ended February with 12. You need to increase it over February now by 3 people. So let's say you sponsor yet again 4 people, 1 drops off. You end the month with 15. Guess what? You had a net gain of 3. You grew by 3 people, and you satisfied that portion of the qualification. Okay. Hopefully that just gives you a quick little idea of what we're asking you to do. Grow month after month by 3 over your previous high month. Grow it by 3 premier members, and you satisfy that part of the qualification. The other side of it is growing your Unilevel check. Now, Unilevel commissions, that's your monthly check. It gets paid out on the 20th. A little bit of a different conversation. It's a little harder for us to track this one because your commissions don't pay out until the end of the month. I'm going to come back to that in just a second, but bear with me. We're going to ask you to grow your income, your Unilevel income, by $25. So in this example, December, this particular person made $475. In January, they made $500. Yes, they qualified. They satisfied that part of the qualification. Now in February, they need to grow their check by $25. So now it's raised to $525. They need to keep growing that check by $25 each and every month. Okay? Which hopefully, if you're in momentum, you grew 1 month, you want to keep going. It's not oh man, now it just got really hard, I'm going to give up and quit. It's a month after month. Let's keep growing. Let's keep ourselves in momentum. Let's keep that flywheel turning that we talk about all the time, and keep that momentum growing, that check growing month after month. Now, so for 1 month to qualify, you need to, this is just a little bit of a review, you need a net gain of 3 people or more. You need to increase your Unilevel by $25 or more. Just as a little sidebar, your Unilevel does not include Fast Start bonus. So your Fast Start checks, your weekly checks, don't calculate into this qualification. Your Fast Start checks are excluded. And in your Unilevel check, there are certain elements of that check that aren't going to be counted as well. So your Unilevel check encompasses your personal rebate, any bonuses that you qualify for, and other things that we may put in there. It's really all we're looking for is growing your residual income in your 8-level downline. So we pay out 8 levels of Unilevel commission. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to help you increase. And the way you increase your Unilevel commissions is you grow your network of distributors. Customer income. Now this is a good time for me to just take a quick sidebar, because this is a little bit of a point of differentiation between the Try It campaign and what we're asking you to do right now. The Try It campaign, the reward was, hey, your commissions are going to go up, and if you do enough of it, we're going to give you free product and possibly qualify you for a trip to Japan. This time around, we're trying to get you to grow your Unilevel check. Now, the Try It campaign, a lot of you, and I know that many of you who qualified for the trip to Tokyo, which, by the way, congratulations for going to that trip to Tokyo. A lot of you did that with pure customer growth, pure customer enrollments. Now, that customer enrollment for this promotion will help you satisfy half of the qualification. So when we talk premier member enrollments, that can either be a customer or an IPC enrollment. However, customers, let me just ask the question just to see if people are paying attention. Do customers pay out Unilevel commissions or Fast Start commissions? I just want to type into the screen. Let me just see if I'm going to catch you guys sleeping, or maybe you've tuned me out altogether. Do customers pay out Unilevel or Fast Start? Okay, Cynthia's saying Fast Start, everybody's getting it right, Fast Start. Although you can qualify for half of this promotion with customer enrollments, those customers are going to pay you out Fast Start commissions. So although you did great on the enrollment side of it, we're trying to get you to increase your Unilevel check. So that's going to have to happen with an increased amount of volume or enrollments in your IPC side of your business. Okay? Hold that thought. Hold that. Maybe that's causing some questions. Maybe that's causing some consternation in you. I don't know if that's a word. That was a big word for Dan Calley. But just shelf that thought maybe for just a second. We'll come back to that. What the Unilevel, the $25 increase though, it's pure Unilevel commissions. It's pure residual income in your level 1 through 8 volume. All right. Now let's talk about the rewards. Let's get to the good stuff. So here's how this is going to work. As soon as you accumulate 2 months worth of Accelerator months, so you grow in January, you grow in February. In February, you're going to receive a 50% income match. Now, what are we going to match? Down at the bottom, we're matching your current month Fast Start and Unilevel commissions combined. So whatever you made that current month, we're going to match it by 50%. Okay? That is pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. So that Fast Start income does help you if you have the customers. It's helping you here. It doesn't help you qualify, but it's helping you in the return on your residual match, or I shouldn't call it a residual match, your matching bonus that we're going to pay out. So you do 2 months, you get a 50% match. So if you made $1,000 combined Fast Start Unilevel, we're gonna give you a $500 matching bonus. That's pretty hot. Okay, 2 months, you get that. You keep going with that and you keep growing month after month. You get to 4 months, it's going to bump up to a 100% income match. If you accumulate 6 months, man, so that's going to require you to remember it goes till July. So you're going to have to get this almost every month. January, February, March, April, May, June. You are going to get a 200% match in June. And if you do it again in July, you get another 200% match. So that means if you made $1,000, we're going to give you $2,000 bonus, up to accumulation of $50,000 in matching bonuses. We're not going to pay you out, mean old Morinda is not going to pay you out a dime over $50,000. Isn't that harsh? I think it's incredibly, incredibly generous. So anyway, do 2 months, you get a 50% match. Do 4 months, you get a 100% match. Do 6 months, a 200% match. Wow, we're talking big money here. This is incredible that we would even be able to do this and fund this for people. But hey, it's going to take work. We don't give away money for free. We don't give away money. We're not giving away free handouts here. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some work, and together we can make this happen. We can do this, and we want to put more money in your pockets this year in 2018. Now, question, do they have to all be consecutive months? No. Now, to get to the 200% match, you're pretty much going to have them consecutive, but to get the 50% match, if you do it in January, miss it in February, do it in March. In March, we're going to match your income by 50%. So it doesn't have to be consecutive months. All right, so a couple of details. Your Fast Start plus Unilevel income match. Income is defined as Fast Start bonus income plus Unilevel commissions. It excludes Any bonuses that you got, whether it's an AD bonus, whether it's an Infinity bonus, whether it's a Black Pearl bonus, whatever the case may be, we're just talking straight Fast Start and Unilevel percentages. So that basically that 45%, we're going to match that. It is the responsibility of the IPC to track their business, volume, and qualifiers and network. And I'm going to come back to that in just a second. A lot of this, we're working on getting the tracking up and running in your back office as soon as we can. We're behind the 8 ball on it already. I know it's the 17th, but we're scrambling trying to make that happen for you. But we're going to go through, in just a second, I'm going to show you something that you can start on tonight to get rocking and rolling on this. How rewards are paid out. This may be a little bit repetitive, but once an IPC accumulates 2 Accelerator months, they will be paid the match based on the second month Fast Start and Unilevel income total. So whatever you made in January, it doesn't really matter as long as you made $25 more in your Unilevel. But in February, when you do qualify for the second time, that month, whatever you earn, we're going to match that by 50%. Okay. Each additional month they qualify, they will earn another match at that level until they reach the next qualifying level. Okay? So, to kind of lay this all out, month 1, January, there's really no matching bonus that will be paid out for January, but you can qualify your first month in January. Month 2, 50%. If you were to qualify all 7 months in a row, which would be awesome, and hopefully some of you are going to do that, this is the schedule of the percentages as they're going to pay out. And Morinda will match your income during that period up to an accumulation of 50 grand. So super awesome there. Yeah, we are going to even make it cooler. But wait, there's more. Bullet train to Tokyo. Some of you, I know there's some people that desperately wanted to go to Tokyo based on the Try It campaign promo. We had quite a few of you do it. I think there was about 20 people in the United States who qualified for a trip to Tokyo, and that is super incredible. If you missed out on that, guess what? We're going to give you a second chance at going after this. But you got to do 4 months during the year before June. The reason why we have to cut that off in June is Tokyo, we have to book flights, we have to book hotels. So I know the program goes to the end of July, but we have to cut it off in June because we got to book your flights and your hotels and deadlines. So you got 6 months to do 4 months. You can do 4 months, then you're going to go to Tokyo this year, part of the Global Business Summit in Tokyo. And we're going to match you a whole bunch of money that you could use to spend on souvenirs. I want to think of something souvenir-y to do in Tokyo. I have no idea. Karaoke bar, I don't know. Hiking Mount Fuji, I don't know. Whatever you do in Tokyo, that's going to be lots of fun. I really do need to brush up on what's happening in Tokyo because I'm hoping to be there too. But we'll pay for your travel, we'll pay for your lodging for 2 people if you can match, or if you can do this 4 months out of the first part of the year. Okay? Now, that's a whole bunch of information. I know I probably went pretty quickly through that. I'm going to do a little bit of Q&A here at the end of the webinar, but I'm not going to probably be able to satisfy all of your questions at the end of the webinar. However, call my team, the US sales team tomorrow. Call commissions. If you can't get a hold of us, go to the commissions line and ask questions about this. Let's make sure that you have all the information, you know where you stand, and we can point you in the right direction of activities that you can be doing now to qualify for January that's going to put you on the track for some really cool, fun things. However, if you're asking yourself, okay, that was a whole bunch of information, and what the heck do I even do? It barely makes sense to me, but I get it. I need to grow my Premier member bank account by 3, and I need to increase by $25 in my Unilevel check. All right, well, so where do I begin? Let me tell you, go to your back office. Do this tonight. In fact, I'm going to walk you through how this looks in your back office. Okay, so take notes. But it starts off, log into your back office. Go to the My Organization tab on the left-hand side. It's going to give you a drop-down menu. You're going to go to Reporting. If you've never run a report, this is good practice for you. If you're not on Office Pro, by the way, get started on Office Pro. It's going to be really hard to do this without Office Pro. But get on Office Pro. Go to My Organization and go to Reporting. There's going to pop up a whole bunch of reports, things that we've created that are just basic standard reports. But there's that bottom right report. It says New Custom Report. Click on New Custom Report. You're going to create your own custom report that's going to help you every single month of this promotion. Now, the report builder, basically what you're going to do is you're going to change a couple of things on here. Now, this is when you customize a report, you get to fool around with the dials. You can twist the dials and knobs to get out the information that's going to be useful to you. So let me tell you what I would do if I were you. I would change, let's see, the things that I changed on here, how many downline levels, you're going to change that to 1. We're concerned with how many personally sponsored to you people are in your organization. That's who we're tracking and taking a look at. The second thing that I would change is organization tree. It's highlighted in blue on the slide, but you're going to change the organization tree to personal sponsor. Not people. You're not going to fool around with people that are placed underneath you. You're just going for people that you have personally sponsored, IPCs and customers alike. So there, I think it defaults to this. So where it says which title and it says all, you don't have to change that. I think it defaults to that one. The other things, and I apologize, I didn't include this on the slide, but you're gonna, over to the right, you're gonna select membership and QPV. And I don't have that on the slide, but you can look at the output, excuse me. So this is the report per the IPC that I was using. So it gives their IPC number, but then it tells you on the level, that's first generation, those are all personally sponsored people. Their ID number, their name, membership column, and I didn't really expand that out because I was in a little bit of a rush putting this together, but it says 120. That means that those people that have 120 in that column are people who are on a 120 auto ship option. We don't call it auto ship, we just call it premier membership status. So their membership status is 120. Those are people who are on auto ship. Now, to the right, you can see that some people have points. Their QPV for the month of January has points, some of it doesn't. So when I start to look at, well, what am I going to do to increase my premier membership bank by 3, this is exactly where I'm going to start. I got to look at this information and I got to start making some deductive conclusions. I don't even know if that made sense. That didn't sound very smart to me. I need to start making some decisions based on the information I'm getting. And that is, hey, if I see somebody who's on premier membership but they have 0 volume, guess what I'm going to do? Actually, let me ask you guys, what are you going to do if you see somebody like that on your report? I'm going to wait for answers on this one. If you see somebody like that on your report, what are you going to do? Just be like, oh, forget about that person. I guess I can't count them. No, you call them. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Sue Lynn and EJ. Yes, you call them. Call them up. Say, hey, what's the deal? It's the 17th. It's the 18th of the month. Auto ship is already run on the 15th. I need you to get your 120 in. Or you probably do it a lot more polite than that. However, I'm giving you the brash version of that conversation. But no, call them up. Say, hey, what's going on? Can we get your auto ship this month? Don't miss out. We need you on auto ship. I want you to get you some products. You don't need any more cases of juice? Well, guess what? Let's try some Temana. Let's try other products. Whatever. You have those conversations. Now, hopefully you do this every single month anyway, but it's even more important that you do and execute this month. Because remember, at the end of the month, we just need a net gain of 3. Now, the reason why I go through and show you this is because when we talk about new or any type of a net gain, oftentimes people kind of take themselves out of the game by saying, geez, there's corporate again asking me to sign up 3 more people. That is not even what I'm asking you to do. Yes, you can do it that way. You can sign up 3 new people, and that will help, but you have to have a net gain. So I guarantee you, as you go and run your organization, you're going to find people in this list that are already in business. You don't even have to go and hold another meeting. You could probably identify the net gain from just people that are on auto ship but didn't even purchase this month and didn't even know that their card didn't go through or their expiration date changed or whatever reason their auto ship failed. You call them up and follow up with them. You probably get your 3 that way. The other thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look for people in your organization who are IPCs, and the reason why you want IPCs is because remember the second part of this is you want to increase the amount of Unilevel income that you have at the end of the month. The customers aren't going to help you with that. We want to identify IPCs on this list and help them upgrade and help them increase their volume and purchase more and do those kind of things. Focus there and you're going to see your Unilevel check have a better chance of growing by 25 bucks. Okay? Now, so there's people who are on auto ship, I can't say that word anymore, premier membership, that don't have volume. Well, here's a couple more. As you kind of go down this list of people that this report's going to kick out for you, there's people, now that I've kind of highlighted a group of people that have an auto ship of 30 or a premier member status with 30 points. So some of them, as I look through this list, I don't know if you can see on the screen, I'm pointing with my finger and you can't see my finger, but there's somebody on this list who has a 30-point option who has purchased 240 points this month. Okay, what do we do with that person? Hey, let's call them up and say, can we make this a regular thing for you? Can we just switch your premier membership status or switch you to a premier member status so that you can get 120 points every single month? You're already showing that you're willing to get 240 this month. Man, that's an easy, low-hanging fruit that you can target and go after. I'm telling you guys, there will be these types of individuals in your report. I've run so many of these. I've run a number of these for people over the last 3 months, and every time I'm like, man, there's low-hanging fruit here, guys. It just takes a phone call to this one person who's already bought 120. Let's switch them to 120, and they now count. Your net gain has just gone up. Okay, so without even feeling like you have to go and sign up a whole bunch of new people, you can do that, but I would start here first. Dive into your organization, get familiar with who's there, who's on premier member status, who isn't, who needs to upgrade. There's another person down here. If you keep looking, I'm going to keep driving this point home. There's somebody who's not on any type of auto ship program, but they bought 120 points. Slam dunk. There's 2 people right there. If you need to grow by 3, there's 2 of your 3 right there. They've already done the work and they're not counting. So run this report. Once again, it's go to reports, go to new customer report, and just you're trying to extrapolate. Wow, that was a big word. I'm so proud of myself. You're trying to extrapolate data that's going to help you increase your premier member bank account this month. So you're trying to look for personally sponsored, first generation, first level people, and checking out what their premier membership is and if they have volume this month. Run that report and run it every day for the next 13 days before we end this month, and focus on those people. And I guarantee you're going to see that your numbers are going to go up and you're going to qualify for this, and the next month you're going to be very happy with me. So you're going to be happy with yourself. Don't be happy with me. You're going to be happy with yourself. You're going to be happy that you got on the webinar because it pays to be on the webinar. Now, this is going to sound funny. Maybe it's not even funny. Maybe it's just funny to me. Tonight, the reward for being on the webinar is this information that's going to pay you money for being on the webinar. I don't feel like I need to give out anything tonight because just this information alone is going to position you to get paid down the road. So you guys, thank you for being on the webinar tonight. We have so much to do. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of information. I know there's questions, and I'm going to sit here and answer questions for about 5 minutes, and then I got to go because I have already gone longer than I was hoping to go. So pays to be on the webinar. You guys got the information. Go have a great month in January. Let's duplicate it in February, and let's all get a bunch of matching bonuses. Let's get some extra money this year in 2018. Morinda is the most generous company on the planet. You won't find another company that is this generous, this giving back to its distributors. Just help us spread that word. We need more people on the webinar. We need more people qualifying for these things. We should be very loud with this information. It's a great time to be a part of Morinda. So with that, I'm going to sign off from the webinar tonight. and I'll stick around. I'm going to end the recording, but I'm going to stick around for a little bit of Q&A. Okay, Urana, everybody, have a good night.